Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you.
Alright, good afternoon. I want to officially welcome you to the MLSA Machine Learning Bootcamp for 2024. It was already stated in the forms you filled, it's going to run for 8 weeks from now to October 26th. So we are in for a hell of a ride. So, yeah, we will be two facilitators taking this program. Um, oh, Let me start by introductions. So, I'm Demilade. I'm going to be your facilitator alongside Israel. So, I'll be taking on Mondays, and Israel will be taking on Fridays. So, our schedule for this week, we have 4 hours a week. I'm taking 1 hour. Israel is taking 3 hours on Fridays. So on Mondays it's 12 to 1, and on Fridays I think it's 1 to 3. But Israel posted it on the group chat. It's the pinned message on the group chat. So you see that. So yeah, once again, I welcome all of you to the boot camp, and yeah, let's have fun together. So I would actually like for this class to be as interactive as possible. Feel free to unmute your mics and ask me questions. And taking the first step in that interactivity, I want us to do introductions. Like everyone is going to introduce themselves. So I'll go first. I'll just to go again. Kolawole Jacobs Demilade, 500 level student of geophysics in Unilag here. Um, what else? In my free time, I like watching anime, watching soccer, playing video games, drawing. Yeah, and I like building models. So that's that about me. So Lamide, please can you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Olamide, 300 level student of Health and Gas Unilag. That's alright.
All right. David. David Dada, since we have two Davids.
Good day, everyone. Happy to be here. Nice to meet everyone. David Dada Olorunto for me. Um, a computer science student, 400 level. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Welcome. David Omoyela, please introduce yourself.
Hi, yeah. Hi everyone. David Omayala. DLM Systems Engineering student, similar. Nice meeting everyone here. Thank you.
All right, welcome, David. Kako Korip. I hope I didn't brutalize your name. Kako, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm Kaku Kori, 200 level chemical engineering, Unilag.
All right. Rashida, please can you introduce yourself?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Mustafa Rashidat, 20 level systems engineering student in Ilag.
You're welcome. And Anthony, welcome. Please can you introduce yourself? Anthony, are you speaking? I think your audio device can't hear you. All right, Anthony, you can mute yourself. I think your audio device is bad. Well, yeah, that confirms that you're all with me. So, um, machine learning. Let's have a discuss about it. Why do you want to learn machine learning? My own background story. What drove me to machine learning? When I was younger, I wanted to build cars that could drive themselves and fly. Then I grew up and saw that someone had already done it. So I started reading on Teslas, following Andre Carpati. Andre Carpati was the former head of AI at Tesla. Then that's how I went down that rabbit hole of computer vision and stumbled upon machine learning and all of that. That was my own journey. So I enjoy using it for predictive analysis and its applications, particularly to computer vision and the health sector. So yeah, that is my background. That is why I'm interested, or that is why I love machine learning. So I'm sure all of us have different reasons why we're here. But yeah, let me give you a brief overview of machine learning. So machine learning is not your regular programming. Machine learning is a way of teaching computers to do tasks, to perform tasks without being explicitly programmed to do so. So you don't explicitly tell um the that do this, do that. The computer by itself learns patterns and use that to make its decisions. So it is not rule based. So the computer learns from patterns within the data that you've provided it. And one key thing that as we're starting our journey that I want you to know is that machine learning is garbage in, garbage out. If you are building a model and your data is bad, your results will be very bad. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, so let me share my screen and show you some resources. Oh, sorry, before I delve into machine learning, I would actually like to know our programming level. I see that a lot of you, almost I think everybody, 80% of people that introduce themselves, everyone is from engineering, systems, computer science, paper and gas. That is nice. I think, yeah, Python is compulsory for you guys at a particular point in time because I have friends in engineering and they did Python compulsory in their own time too. I think in year two, year three. So yeah, the programming language we'll be using is Python. You can actually use R for machine learning. You can use JavaScript too, but the largely supported language is Python. Python. Yeah, so before we go on, we will actually have to know each other's programming level, your proficiency with Python. So I think I should have done this before the class. How good we are in Python. All right, so let me just go straight away. We'll start with Python. From Python, let me see if I can share the um let me see if I can the share the what we have planned to cover in these 8 weeks. I'm coming, please give me a minute. Well, basically, we're going to start with Python. We're going to cover basics of Python from data structures, um, functions, loops, control flows, dictionaries, sets, tuples, lists. We would have to cover all of those because those are the fundamental things we would use to build models. So we would have to cover Python first. Then from there, we would not dive into machine learning proper. So I'm not going to follow the approach I was about to follow before because I was about to start teaching. But I know that maybe not all of us are comfortable with Python, so we have to accommodate everybody. So like I initially mentioned, our class is going to be very interactive. We're going to have a very interactive class. But yeah, and we're going to use free and open source resources majorly. So we're going to use platforms like Kaggle. We're going to use platforms like FreeCodeCamp. We're going to use online code editors like Google Colab, Replit, so that we would actually learn on the fly and it can be interactive as possible. So I'm not up to the best start because I should have assessed our proficiency with Python before setting up this meeting. So I apologize for that on my end. But moving forward, I have to be a poll to see your proficiency with Python. And remember, this class is interactive. Feel free to interject me at any point if you have any questions or clarifications that you want to ask.
I'm going to be using Python.
Are you going to be using PyCharm? No. Do you know how to use PyCharm already? Are you comfortable with this? Or that's your go-to IDE?
Yeah, in terms of Python, yes.
Yeah, so in order of priority, I think the um we'll be using Google Colab because it's online and interactive. And it can easily, once you have your mail, I can create assignments and you can do it. I'll just share it in your mail. So it's easier to share and collaborate with Google Colab. But Google Colab some days has it used to any accidents now. Google Colab sometimes they move mad because I write something Google Colab and it's not working. I go to VS Code and it's working. So I'm wondering what's is going on. Usually be using Google Colab, but yeah, sometimes we can use Python. I want to share my screen. Maybe I should not shout about at the amount of tabs I have open, but yeah. So we are going to actually beautify this and share it with you. This is our outline of what we plan to cover in the 8 weeks. So the truth of the matter, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you. Machine learning is not something you learn in 8 weeks. It's not. But what we are going to try and teach you is how to do research by yourself so that we are going to provide like a platform for you to be comfortable building basic models and be able to do research without further, what is the adjective? Without holding your hands. You can be able to do research and build models by yourself because we have given you the basic foundational principles guiding machine learning. Because 8 weeks is not enough, but we'll cover the basics, we'll cover traditional machine learning. And if we are actually fast, we can actually go beyond this. But these are the important things we need to cover first. If we move very good speed, if assignments are turned in on time, there's good interaction and everything, we can iterate at a faster speed and maybe possibly we enter deep learning. So earlier when I was talking about computer vision, it is computer vision is a branch of deep learning alongside natural language processing. So yeah, but that is not currently included in our scheme of work. Why did I say scheme of work? We're not secondary school students. That is not currently included in our outline. But depending on how fast we move, we might be able to enter it. But we have to cover all these basics before thinking of going there. So in Python, we want to get you comfortable. We're not going to teach you everything there is about Python. Python too is vast, but Python is simple and intuitive. That's just the for those that are not comfortable with it yet. Python is simple and intuitive. So it's not something you should really be scared about. Python is high level, it's a high level programming language and it might be one of the simplest. I feel it's simpler than JavaScript. Well, that's my own personal bias. You might feel differently. So that's what we're going to start with. We'll start with Python, defining identifiable variables, then control statements, conditional statements, if, elif, else, Then we go to loops, while and for loops, then data structures, lists, dictionary, tuples, then we go to functions and error handling and OOP. Now, the reason why we want to cover all of this is that you don't build a house before laying the foundation. You have to lay the foundation first. We are going to use Python to build models for our machine learning journey together over the next 8 weeks. So if you're not comfortable with Python and we're building models, you will get lost. You might not really understand what you're doing. So that's why we have to start with Python. So that is what we will cover, because machine learning models, we are basically writing Python code. We are doing some sort of method calling, we are writing a function, we are writing a loop to do this, to train the data. It's all in Python. So you have to get comfortable with Python first. So hopefully, this first 2 weeks, we should be able to, hopefully, I don't know what Israel has in mind, but hopefully these first 2 weeks, if we're fast to finish it. Dada, I can see your hand. What's your question?
Okay, thank you. Sir, I just wanted to confirm something. Is data science the same? Is data science like equal to like is it the same thing with machine learning?
Yeah, that is a very good question. So they are not stringent definitions or stringent borders across these different parts. Most data scientists know how to write machine learning models, know how to build machine learning models rather. Most data scientists, but it's not exactly. There are some data scientists don't know how to productionize ML models. They know how to build it, do data gathering, collection, maybe build a pipeline, build a predictive model, but they might not know how to deploy that model in production. So their data science is quite all right. They analyze the data, they do data wrangling, data preprocessing, and all of that, but they don't know how to deploy the model. So their data scientists with machine learning skills, well, they might not exactly be called machine learning engineers. They might not exactly
Oh,
be called machine learning engineers. So it
oh,
depends. Different people have different definitions of this job, because there are some that if you check some job roles, they'll say data scientist and they'll list machine learning roles. A data scientist essentially writes machine learning algorithms or knows how to build machine learning algorithms. But a machine learning engineer knows how to do that more in depth. I don't know if you understand. So let me give you an analogy. A data scientist is like someone with a BSc, while a machine learning engineer is like someone with a master's to PhD. Does that help? Does that analogy help?
yeah, like one is more vast and experienced.
Yes, more the machine learning engineer has more skill sets, has more tools under his belt. So while a data scientist can do what a machine learning does, he might not do it as effectively or might not know as much as, but it's very, very, there's no rigid definition or rigid border. There's a fine line, a very thin line between the definition of those roles. A data scientist, a machine learning engineer, and an AI engineer. Because AI engineers, you might see some AI engineering roles and they are asking for machine learning. Everything they're asking for AI engineering roles, they might be asking for machine learning and robotics. They would expect you to have some geo coordination knowledge, maybe have some C++ skills, know how to use Arduino and all of that. So it's largely dependent on the hiring manager, to be honest. And most of them, they just used to write rubbish in their. I hope there's no hiring manager here today. They just used to write rubbish on their job description. I don't know where they get some of it from, because some are just hilarious. But yeah, there's a thin line between there's a thin line in differentiating each of these job roles: the data scientist, the machine learning engineer, the AI engineer. There are some job roles that they're asking for a data scientist, but the data scientist has to be able to do these three. They're able to build AI models, was able to productionalize it, deploy it, and monitor it, and do all of that. While some they're just asking you, just build the model, then you give it to the ML engineer, you deploy it, he will do the rest. or we fine tune it, we improve it. So yeah. Does anyone have any other question? All right. So in the absence of, I'm going
Thank you
to
for
open it. I'm going to open. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, yes, you can.
What can you currently see? What are you seeing?
Cargo page.
Cargo.com.
All right, thank you. So this is one of the platforms that we're going to be using a lot. So as aspiring data scientists or machine learning engineers, Cargo.com is like our home. In Cargo, yeah, in Cargo, you have data sets. A lot of data sets are taken from Cargo that cuts across many things. So when you're looking for data sets, one of the first places you should go to is Cargo. When you want to come for competitions, and the competitions are paid. Like there are some competitions here that are up to $700,000 if the price pool. So what I'm saying, this $1,100,000. There are a lot of, yeah. So Cargo is the home of data scientists and machine learning engineers and everything in between. So your first assignment is that I want everyone to go to Kaggle and create an account. Go to Kaggle and create an account. So it also has courses which we are
Right,
going to be using here. I can hear you. Rashida, I wanted
right
to ask
now or
something.
when?
It doesn't have to be right now. Today, I'm just giving you an intro to what we're going to. No, you can actually do it now. Go to Kaggle. It doesn't take. Doesn't just create an account. So you guys, I'm logging into my own account. Wrong password. Uh, Google, you shall remember for me. All right. So what we're going to is under Kaggle. There's Kaggle Learn, and here you can see intro to programming for those that have no programming experience. Then Python, the most important language for data science. Then we have intro to machine learning, pandas, intermediate data visualization, SQL, computer. So there are a lot here. There are a lot, but we are going to be using this because it's online and interactive. But consolidating on this, we will also be giving you assignments to do, which you would most likely be doing in Google Colab, basic assignments. So today, let's just delve into programming. I know there are some of us here that have extensive or very good programming experience, and there might be some of us here that have none. So we'll just delve into it and look at some basic foundational concepts. So I want everyone to create a Kaggle account, please. Please. And on Kaggle, a good thing is that if you complete these things, they actually give you certificates. And this is provided to you at no costs. That is free. Like I said, Kaggle is the home of data science, data scientists. So, come on. It's when you created a account on Kaggle, leave a message in the chat so that I can track you if and see if you've created. I've actually not done this Kaggle course. I didn't use Kaggle when I was learning, but let me see. I want to see if this is in Python. It should be okay, it's in Python. So before we delve into this, I'm not going to lie to you and say machine learning is easy or programming is easy. It's dependent on you, the mindset you use to approach it. But one that I want every one of us to inculcate is that as we are going into this journey to learn machine learning, please learn by doing. Once you do that hard thing, it becomes not that hard. Something that looks very hard, looks insurmountable, looks like once you pass it once. So is this what was stressing me? So once you do that hard thing, it becomes not that hard. So learn by doing, and you never be able to do that hard thing if you don't try. Don't give up without trying. When you see something, try it. I don't know what. Just start. Start. Do something. Just start and do something, and you'll see what will happen. So the highlights or the methodology we are going to be using throughout our bootcamp is learn by doing, learn by making. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Learn by doing. All right. So arithmetic and now let's go to Python. So Python is an object-oriented interpreted programming language, general purpose and interpreted programming language. And Python is used for many things. They use Python in game development, they use it in web development, they use it in machine learning. So Python is universal. That's why it's general purpose. So Python is a general purpose, object-oriented, and interpreted programming language. And what we mean by interpreted is that Python is run line by line, line by line. So it's from top to bottom. If something isn't working above, the cell or the code under won't run. So the interpreter goes from top to bottom. So just have that at the back of your mind as we delve into this. Another thing I want you to know is that Python is intuitive. What's the thing actually is doing in English is probably what it's doing. When you see something like plus, it's probably plus too. Let's look at some examples. Okay, so the first thing I want you to know in Python is the print statement. The print. When you run a code, when you run a code, you might not when you run a code, you might not see the result of your code unless you use the print statement. So one of the simplest and most important tasks you can ask the computer to do is print. So let me spin up Google Colab for those of us that are not familiar with it. So Google Colab is an online IDE. An IDE stands for an Integrated Development Environments. All right. So Google Colab is an online IDE. That's where you write code. You can actually write SQL in Google Colab. Or yeah, let me open. So if you go to collab.research.google.com, or if you simply tap Google Colab, it will be the first search results that should be provided to you. So let me create a new notebook and I will name this class 1. Class 1. Type INB. So yeah. So the Google Colab environment, you have a server. I'm connecting to the server. So here you see, and now they have inculcated Gemini. So you can actually write um code, AI assisted programs. But I don't essentially encourage that, especially at beginner levels. The way I was taught how to program was that you will write it until it becomes muscle memory. And that actually helps. You won't when you're initializing a model, it's muscle memory, so you don't exactly need to go and Google. And what since you have written it so many times, you know the workflow, you can write it off and even in your sleep, your fingers will just be going by themselves. Well, yeah, so let's start. So yeah, if you hover around up or down, you'll see code and text. Code and text. I'm just opening or just insert. You can insert a code cell or a text cell. You can use the insert button too. But what I majorly do is I just overround. So these texts. So you double click to write a text. So I first use the hashtag, that hashtag sign, and let me call this introduction to Python. How many of us here have heard of how many of us here have heard of Jupyter notebooks? Have anyone heard of Jupyter notebook? Okay, but I have heard of it. So a Jupyter notebook is like a notebook. It's also an environment where you write code and is tailored specifically towards Python majorly. So Google Colab is like a is Jupyter notebook but hosted on the cloud and by Google. That's just it. It's Google proprietary and it's cloud hosted. So today let's just look at very introductory things. So we'll look at displaying messages with your print statements. Need to put that in caps. And let's see, maybe variables and some little arithmetic. All right. So the very first function I want you to get used to is print. The print function. I'm sure even if you're not a coder or you don't have prior programming experience, you have seen this thing somewhere before. Print hello world, print or console log hello world, int void hello world. This is the first thing most programmers write in their life. So if you click this, you see that in the terminal it displays hello world. And why do we need to use the print? Let me say var equals to hello world. Now, when you use strings, like this you can see these double strings at the top. Sorry, what am I saying? You can see these inverted commas, these double inverted commas. Anything that is encapsulated in double, or it can actually be single too. Sorry. Don't use double and single together. You have to use one of them. See, this is double starting it and double ending it. This is single starting it and single ending it. So, but here now I cannot go and put double here. You will get an error. You can see it's even already underlined red. So it has to be uniform. If you are using single inverted commas, use them. If you are using double, use them. Use double only. So now if I do this, and now to comment, a comment is not run by the interpreter. Remember I said Python is general purpose interpreted. No, it is general purpose, object oriented and interpreted programming language. So if I comment this, you see that nothing happens. Nothing is printed. But now if I change this, because I comment, and to comment we use this pound sign, this hashtag sign. But now see, so what will happen if I change it? Sorry, var is not a string, it's a variable. See that now it prints it out because I put the print statement. So before I've created, but nothing was done. I can't see what was done because I didn't use the print statement. But now that I use the print statement, I can see var. So quickly, a print statement helps us to display results of our programs. That is essentially what it does. That's what the print statement does. And now let's talk about the concept of variables. A variable. So basically, a variable stores data in Python. That is simply what it does. So this var now is a variable, and a variable is most of the time, and it's most of the time followed by an assignment operator. So this thing here, this equal to sign, is an assignment operator. Please, in this class, this is rule 1. Nobody is allowed to call this thing equal to, apart from me. Is allowed to call that um that's single. I'm the only one allowed to call it equal to. Nobody's allowed to call this assignment operator equal to apart from me. In Python, equal to is this is equal to in Python is double. But this assignment operator, this is the equal to operator, this is the assignment operator. So we're assigning this string hello world to this variable var. And what is a variable? A variable simply stores data in Python. Is a way it stores it in the memory. So when it prints var, it returns its value. So the value of this variable is hello world twice. Hello world, hello world. While var is the what? What is var? But see the way I spell variables. No wonder as soon allow me graduate. Please remember our class needs to be as interactive as possible. What is var? What is this? This highlighted. This thing I called in Python.
Variables.
Thank you. So it's a variable. It simply stores data. So this is the variable and this is the value. Or this is the data that that variable is storing. Hello world. So quickly, let's look at an assignment operator. Now, let me use this was for explanatory purposes. Don't need that again. So this is the assignment operator in Python. So it's assigning this string to this variable. That's all it does. And it's one of the most used operators in Python. So let's look at some simple arithmetic real quick. Now, when you are writing, this is called a markdown cell. Is where I write text like this. So if you do this, what is here will be smaller than if I use 2 pound signs, which is also smaller than if I use 3 pound signs, which is also, sorry, it's becoming smaller with incrementing number of pound signs. So this one here with only 1 pound sign will be bigger than this one with 2 pound signs or 2 hashtags, than this one with 3 hashtags, than this one with 4 hashtags. And let's see it. See, this A is bigger than this one, which is bigger than this one and bigger than this one. So you use this just to create some level of hierarchy. Basically, that's what it does. So let's look at simple. Remember what I said? In Python, this is very close to human language. It's very close to normal language. So let's look at what should we look at? Okay, let's just look at basic examples. X equals to, remember I'm the only one that is allowed to say equals to. You're not allowed to say equals to. X equals, or X is given the value of 5, Y is given 7. If you do print, again, if I do X times Y, so in Python, the multiplication operator is this asterisk. This asterisk is a multiplication operator. If we do this, we get 35. So the reason why it's actually printing without the print statement is that in notebooks like Jupyter and Colab, if you type out this thing, it will most likely just print out without necessarily putting the print statement. But it's good practice to put it sharp. Most times, if you type out, it's the same thing that will come out. If I just do x times y, it will actually just print it out. That is 35. This is simple arithmetic. So if we do, let's take it up a notch. X times y divided by, and in Python, this is the integer division. Sorry, this is a float division divided by x plus, because there's integer division too, divided by x plus y. So this is 35 divided by 12. Is that correct? 5 times 7. Oh, yes. Yes. There's something here that happened. Who can intuitively try and guess what happened here? Because this is wrong. This is not, we're trying to x times y divided by x plus y should not give you 14. But why is it giving me 14? Who can try?
That's all like
Mass.
brackets.
Yes, BODMAS. So Python also has those rules and regulations. So this BODMAS now creates a sort of control. Evaluate this first before evaluating this. Not that you can do x BODMAS brackets, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So now this will give us a different answer, which is correct. This now is 35 divided by 2, which is 2.91666666666, whatever. So yeah, so far so good. This is quite easy, right? Very, very easy. Let me see the examples they used here. Print 1.2, 9 minus 5. Okay. All right, so let me just quickly use this. Can you see my current screen? Where am I currently? Can you guys see my current screen? Where am I currently?
Cargo.
Guys, I'm all right. Thank you. So now cargo. So these are some operators, and they are equivalent in Python. The addition operator in Python is the same thing. This plus, just type plus on your keyboard. The subtraction is the same thing. This minus, same conventional minus. The multiplication is the asterisk, like I mentioned. The division is this backward. Is this forward or backward slash? This is backward slash. No. This is forward slash. Add this slash. Then the exponents is this multiple exponentiation. This raised to power in our common is double asterisk. It's double asterisk. So yeah, now you can control like what happened before that we were getting 14 instead of 2.91 was because we didn't control the order of our operations with parentheses. Parentheses are these curly brackets. So if you write this just like this, you probably get a very stupid answer. So you follow. Okay, the new one is PEMD. In Python, use PEMDAS, not BODMAS. Now, PEMDAS stands for P is parentheses, E is exponentiation, M is multiplication, D is division, A is addition, and S is subtraction. That is PEMDAS. And that is what we use in Python. So similar, multiply 3 by 2. Please don't write this in Python. Like, see, you get an error. Why did we get an error? Because we removed. Okay, this was the comment. Can I edit there? Can I edit it? No, I can't. So if you remove this pound sign that is commenting it, you will get an error. And that is what they say here. You get a syntax error. Invalid syntax if you multiply 3 by 2. Because this is general, this is not Python syntax. This is general English, and Python doesn't understand that. So that's why you're getting an error. Please, what are you saying? I don't understand you. That is the error is thrown at you. So yeah, but I've looked at the concept of variables. Yeah. So this is just an intro. This is just an intro. In our next class, we'll look at some more inbuilt operators. I said operators. Yeah, operators and functions. We'll look at min, max, len, sum. Yeah. So we'll look at all of that in our next class. Almost one. Well, before we go into roundup, please, does anyone have any question? Does anyone have any question? It does not need to be only Python related. Any question you have concerning this bootcamp in general, feel free to shoot. All right, Steven, ask your question. Steven, I'm with you. Your hand is up. All right, seems like maybe that was a mistake. So my assignment for everyone is please on kaggle.com finish the first. Finish this first. When you sign up to Kaggle, go to Kaggle Learn. Go to Learn. Then Intro to Programming. Please finish 1 and 2 before Friday. It's not, this thing is takes like 20 minutes each. And the good thing about this is that when you finish this on the next page, you see your turn. They have exercises for you to do. They have exercises. So they'll ask you a question, just answer it based on what they asked you or what they taught in the previous. Is it my network? Yes. So set up the notebook. You first run the cell. After you run the cell, come to question 1. Print hello world. This is not exactly going to run. Now your own is change. Yeah, wherever you see this to do, this is something you are meant to do. So here they said the assignment given here was you should print good morning and print this. I am learning how to code column D. Yeah. Then question 3. Okay. Okay, you are telling you to uncomment. You would uncomment this. And question 4, you create variables. So next class, I'm going to check all of your assignments. So your assignment is to finish question part 1, this arithmetic and variables, and do all the exercises before Friday. And possibly starts after this, the next is possibly starts functions. Just breeze through it. And that is that. So on the group chat, I'll share some resources. I'll share some textbooks, some very, very good textbooks, which I actually used when I was learning Python. So I'll share it and other resources if need be that can help you with programming with Python introduction. So yeah, so for the last time, does anyone have any question? See, we are all bosses here. All right, Rashida.
We have to use assignments like
Wait, I didn't get that. You are not loud.
for the assignment.
I can't hear
I
you.
are we
Please
to
come
use
again.
Google Colab assignments?
Hmm. No, use Kaggle. Use Kaggle. Use Kaggle for the assignment. This is the introduction, so I'm not going to give you guys a very hard assignment yet. This is still first class. Michael, I can see you typing. All right, I'll put the assignment on the group chats. I'll put the assignment on the group chats. All right. So this class was recorded. So the recordings will be made available. I don't know when. We are not in charge of the recordings, but it will be made available in case you need to do any form of revision whatsoever. So until then, thank you guys for joining in. This is a beginning of what would be an incredible journey. And I'm looking forward to the experience with you guys. See you next class. Bye bye. Bye, Karichu.